Hey everyone, welcome to the seventh episode of Lemonology, the knowledge sharing platform. My name's Grant Pringle. I'm a senior account manager at Pearl Lemon Agency, and today we've got a very special guest, my fellow colleague in crime, Chill Simalala. How are you doing, Chill?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm doing good.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank
So
you for asking, Grant. Hope you are too.
yes, I can't complain. Nice and early for a change to get up. And, it's great to chat to someone, as always, in another country abroad. So for all of you who don't know, Chill is based in Philippines, in the amazing city of Manila. And Chill kind of heads up our lead gen team. So, Chill, I'd love you just to give our audience and our listeners and audience a bit of an overview of of who you are, your role, and how long you've been at Pearl Lemon.
Oh yeah, that would be great. So yes, I'm Chill, and I'm one of the senior lead gen specialists in Lemon for lead generation. So I've been here with Lemon for almost 2 years. This coming August, I'll be exactly 2 years in Lemon. So congrats to me, I think.
That's a long time.
And yeah, it's been a roller
And,
coaster
and in Pearl
journey for
Lemon,
me.
that's about 20 years, right? So 1 year equates to 10 years. The amount of knowledge we grow, you
So
know?
yeah, I think actually to be honest, I think for Lemon, if I'm not mistaken, started 2016.
Okay.
So it's like yeah. Anyway, um yeah. So for lead generation, I'm basically setting up the automation for LinkedIn, for optimization of the LinkedIn profile that we are using for our clients for us to gain more leads and traction,
Okay.
and setting up the connection request, um and anything under the sun about lead gen. I can discuss more tips or suggestions about how to be an effective lead generation specialist, I think.
That's fantastic. So I'd love you just to kind of walk us through when starting to build a campaign. I know you've worked with thousands of clients, and from our understanding, we would love to just kind of ascertain and get an understanding of where does one start by building a lead gen campaign and the various types of campaigns you get with LinkedIn.
Oh yeah, sure. So for lead generation, basically, of course, you need to understand what the client wants, what they wanted to target, like the job title, how big are the size of the company is,
Okay.
and you also need to know what industry they would like to target. This, it differs, and sometimes they also have this specific request that these are just the list that you have to contact, or sometimes they have this list that don't contact this existing clients that we have. So that happens. And
Okay. Okay.
aside from that, we also need to set up the LinkedIn profile that we are going to use for LinkedIn outreach. Of course, it needs to be optimized because it needs to look professional. So what we suggest is we make sure that the job title is updated, and of course,
Okay.
like the tag business development manager at Per Lemon Leads, where I mean, we do SEO outreach, something like that. And then make sure that working history or working experience is updated, as well as some skills, um, featured sites or featured case studies, videos, etc., and some recommendations also from at least 3 to 4 recommendations and volunteering experience. So those are the usual things that needs to be optimized in a LinkedIn profile.
I think it's
And aside from
important.
that, oh,
Yeah, I mean, just to look at the profiles, Jill, is this a standard profile that you would create of an existing person that works for the company, or is it just a made up type of profile on behalf of the client?
um, it actually depends
Okay.
on what available profile is there. is there. Because to be honest with you, I've been trying to create a dummy account. It's hard because LinkedIn is
Mm,
detecting it if it's a fake profile. So what we're doing is we're building a LinkedIn profile that we can freely use. To say, for example, my profile was used for different campaigns. At least if it gets blocked or something, and I need to prove that it's mine, then I can definitely just send my identity, and it can we can lift the restriction of this profile. So that's very important.
definitely, because obviously some of our clients are not at liberty to give their personal details out, their own LinkedIn profiles. So it obviously
Yeah,
makes
and
sense.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And we don't really suggest using client's profile for LinkedIn outreach.
Is there any specific reason besides the privacy aspect of it, or is it just because it's
As
easier to
far
manage?
as I remember the yeah, as far as I remember the explanation of Deepak, it's better if we're the ones who's going to manage the responses. I mean, they shouldn't see it.
Yeah.
We're the ones
Okay.
going to
Yeah. I think,
respond
at
to
the end of the
the
day, they've given us.
leads. So.
Yeah, I mean, they've given us the whole aspect to manage and run the campaign. So I think we need to take it full speed ahead, and yeah, don't let them get involved to a certain degree. But obviously, when it comes to getting leads, if leads do filter through and
Mm.
inquiries, then we can pass it on to the client, right? Or email them
Yeah, so it
list of leads.
depends also on how what's the instruction of the client. Say for example,
Okay.
they wanted to take over the lead, then okay, fine, let's pass it on to them. But
Yeah.
sometimes they wanted to like just go ahead and ask the client to book a call and then send it over to me. So it really depends on the client. But let's say for example, we have this, the commercial law um client, and sometimes we cannot really answer the inquiries because we don't know really much about the law. So yeah, it's better to
Yeah.
ask them.
Specific industry knowledge, we can always pass on a certain question to the client. They can answer it on our behalf. We'll answer it,
Yeah,
and then we can get back to the client. And then
exactly.
obviously there's a lot of jargon, terminology, and things that we might not
Yeah.
understand. But I mean, that's kind of outside our parameter.
Mm.
But that's kind of the only reason where they come in to assist. So that makes sense. I think, and then like you said, so to a degree, there's some clients that prefer to take over the leads and give follow up on those leads. But in other cases, we'll also have our own team handle those leads. And
Yeah,
then we've also got a cold
exactly.
calling team, right, Jill? So our cold calling team,
Yeah,
where,
yeah.
where Jay heads up our cold calling team. So we can obviously pass it to, that's kind of working down the funnel. You've got your top of the
Yeah.
funnel,
Mhm.
middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. So that's kind of getting the sales through. So I think that's obviously when it comes to omni-channel. So we've got lead gen, email marketing, and
Mhm.
cold calling, where it happens all simultaneously. So, but yeah, it's just good for
Yeah.
our viewers and listeners to understand. So it's not just limited to the client taking over the leads, but we can also handle that internally because we are a full um, top of the funnel to bottom of the funnel marketing agency. So I think that gives us a real advantage ahead. But Jill, so just getting back to the targeting parameters when it comes to setting up
Mhm.
a LinkedIn campaign, you mentioned obviously one needs to look at the various aspects. We all start with LinkedIn Sales Navigator, right? That's the targeting
Mhm.
tool
Yeah.
um, to define the audience.
Exactly. So yeah, we use this premium feature of Sales Navigator. So we're
Okay,
paying for that like around 66.66 pounds per month. And
okay,
that's really useful because we actually have certain parameters or filters that is not available on the regular LinkedIn. So it really helps us, filter the leads. Then
okay.
after that, another thing that we are doing is, of course, we don't want to do the things manually because we are going to connect to third party thousand of leads. So because there's like a requirement or a KPI that we need to reach for the client. So say for example
Okay.
the client wants us to reach out to 1000 leads per month, then we can actually set up an automation for that. So we have been using various tools for LinkedIn, like Ulink, HeyReach. We've used before Sendzilla. So those are the tools that we have tried already. So far, we've been using Ulink for a couple of, I believe, from the day I started here, we've been using that. So it's
Okay.
really a tool that I would suggest for anyone who's going to do automation. So far it's a good tool. I can,
Okay. And you've obviously got your various
I
steps
can
that
highly suggest.
from an automation perspective, right? You got your first step welcome message, your second message a few days later, and so forth.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's almost the same as email automation wherein there's a first email, let's say for example, but for LinkedIn it's gonna be a connection request, and then a
Okay.
welcome message, and then the rest are like it will be sent after 3 or 3 4 5 days if they did not respond.
Okay.
So it's really good thing that we have this 5 steps
Five steps,
follow-up
eh? Yeah.
messages, so that sometimes they don't really care about the first step, but they wanted they wanted to connect on the second step. So yeah. So more
Okay.
chances.
Yeah. Perfect. So, Chill, I just wanted to check with you as well. So, I think we are going on the various steps, because the aim of it is just to kind of build more interest, and we'll obviously spice and change the copy up. So, we do. Can you also tell us about A/B testing? Because when it comes to writing copy for these various steps and different tier markets, we might have one we might
Mhm.
be running one client campaign, but two different categories. So you got your tier one category, your tier two category. So maybe we're targeting smaller businesses in the first tier and larger businesses in the second tier. So we'll obviously alter the copy for both markets or both categories. And then we'll do A/B testing for both as well. So we'll create two sets of copy for both categories,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. So can you just explain to our listeners why it's important to do A/B testing for copies?
Mhm. To be clear with that, uh, A/B testing is usually done actually for email outreach, which I
Okay.
believe will be discussed separately. But yeah, just to
Yes.
preview that, A/B testing is actually done for lead generation. Just say, for example, the first copy doesn't really work. At least we have a backup, two different copies that
Yes. Okay.
sometimes the first copy or the first segment A is actually too long, so they're not interested. And then we go to second segment B would be a different title, but it could be a same content. I mean, same
Okay.
body. They might not be interested in the body, but I mean, the title caught their attention or the subject line. And then for the third copy, it depends if it's gonna be a totally different, or maybe it's gonna be a shorter one, shorter copy, and
Shorter copy. Okay.
same or different subject line. Yeah, yeah. So that's just it. And then the contact list will be separate or divided into three.
Okay.
So we just need to basically monitor the results, or the report, who's producing more more leads on these
More
three
leads.
different
Yeah.
copies
Okay.
for
So
this
I think that gives us
test.
quite a really good overview on how this is run. So I think
Yeah.
all in all, it'll be good to just basically understand the various processes involved. But I think, Jill, you've given us a really good understanding and overview of the processes involved. And obviously, when it comes to Pull Lemons campaigns, we run a variety of campaigns internally as well, to promote our business and various subsidiaries when it comes to that. So I think we obviously, what we preach and do outside for our clients, we also preach and do internally for our own businesses um, to target the best
Exactly.
accordingly, to optimize as best as we can. But I think that's just to give everybody
Yeah.
a really good understanding of what goes behind the scenes in the life of Chill and her team when it comes to lead generation. And yeah, I think what we'll do, folks, is we'll also share some valuable insights into some of the platforms such as LinkedIn Sales Navigator, as well as Ulink, which is the connecting platform and our automation platform that we use. And then also we use zoom.info, right, Jill? So that can also be used for cold calling.
Uh,
So we also use
yeah, Zoom info.
LinkedIn. We also use LinkedIn to generate target markets for
Mhm.
our cold calling. So it's quite useful.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Fabulous. But
It is
Jill,
really
now,
useful.
I just think there's so much more to cover, and I would really love you back on the call again for our next podcast. There's going to be lots more to cover in lead gen down the line, but I think this is just a very short overview to
Of
give all
course.
our viewers. I know that we have to get back to the grindstone now, so without further ado, it's been really great having you on board, and thank you so much for the valuable insight that you've given us, and yeah, see you shortly at work.
Yeah, thank you so much, Grant.
Thanks so much, Joel. Have a great day.